guys, it's Erad, and so this ship right here, the Argo MPUVP, was the star of yesterday's 4-hour-long session. This is not a joke, this is not a meme, it saved us considerable time, it saved the most important person of our group. So you're gonna check out everything that happened in yesterday's session in today's video. It's a long one, guys, so hang out until the end because what you're going to see is something that we very rarely see. And so we start our session at Deakins here. This is the science outpost on Yela, and I'm going to land this C2 Hercules, which is going to be quite useful for the purpose of this video. Today we are going to try to do some VHRTs and loot the contraband that we are then going to sell at a brickyard. And with me I have the members of the Erad Club, including Deplorable Infidel and Sigelion as well from Altama Energy and some of his crews. And we're starting right here off the bat with an attack on my C2 Hercules and an attack on the other members of the Erad Club as well. There is a Reclaimer, a Karak, a 600i as well, and this was definitely not what we had expected. We had just started our session, we were like 10 minutes in, and already the action was starting. So since we were being under attack, I decided to bring in a ground vehicle, which was something that was planned, one of the reasons why we had a second C2 Hercules. And so since we are in Armistice Zone here, impossible to fight back. I have to get out of the Armistice Zone, and then I'm going to follow Admiral Gruffus over there, who is also in his 890 jump outside of the Armistice Zone. We're gonna get out very soon. There we go, out of the Armistice Zone right now. Time to stop, and I will jump into the turret of this Centurion. I prefer the Centurion over the Ballista simply because, well, it is not limited by a finite amount of missiles, unlimited energy weapons. I liked it much better, even though the range is much shorter. You can see Gruffus's 890 jump over there in the sky, and this is going to be our opponent right here. We are fighting this Karak, and it looks like these are NPCs actually, judging from the names that we can see on the screen. So what I suggest here, what I suggested and what we thought was that probably somebody triggered an ERT or a VHRT bounty hunting mission, and it just happened to be above the outpost where we were. Did you notice also all those missiles that are being fired in the sky? And you're gonna see a couple more, and that is from Shadow Rise, another member of the Erad Club, who brought in a Storm AA, the anti-air variant of the Storm that was just released during the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. And I've got to say that I was really impressed by the amount of missiles and the damage that this vehicle does, and it's got a pretty nice range. As you can see here, I cannot target those ships up there in the sky, they are way too high, but the Storm AA can do it. So I think that a Storm AA and a Centurion combined together like this is a pretty good combination here, with the AA doing the long range and the Centurion doing the short range. Anyway, we got rid of those pesky NPCs, so now the time had come to load our ground vehicles into our C2, which is what we are going to be using later. We'll be using those ground vehicles when we are going to secure the brickyard. And oh well, unfortunately this Centurion here was propelled into the sky. Some explosions happened, mayhem happening here at Deakins research station, and now the Centurion is on its side. Pretty useless. I've tried to make it back on his feet, but it doesn't work. But luckily I had the help of the Storm AA, who saved the day, and that was very helpful indeed. So we are going to try again, and this time the AA is coming up right there, the Storm AA. Oh, a little bit bumpy here. I'm gonna try a second time. This time the Centurion is not being propelled. That's wonderful, and it's going to fit perfectly in the C2 Hercules. There we go. Now we could not put any other ground vehicles, so that's gonna be it. Just a Storm AA and a Centurion, and it looks like we are under attack once again, this time by an 890 jump. Now that is really something that was not expected. Maybe someone triggered another ERT again at Deakins. Well, it's this time I'm going to take a Fury because we have an 890 jump on our own, and the plan was to bring in as many snub fighters as possible inside Grand Admiral Gruffus's 890 jump, which is being attacked by an 890 jump. That's hilarious, as you can see here in the background. Well, I'm going to take it to the skies along with the other members of the Rat Club who are also in the sky. Did you notice Segelian is also making his way to our area here? Segelian, the CEO of Altama Energy, whom we hired to refuel our Furies, and as always with Star Citizen, when we do group activities, things don't always go as planned, and Segelian will be very useful for something else later that you are going to see. So tune in to the channel, stay tuned, because, well, it's going to be interesting to see. So fighting now an 890 jump with a Mirai Fury, and I'm not the only guy with a Fury here. I think there are at least 3 more Furies fighting this 890 jump, and you're going to see them very soon. You can recognize them with the fast firing quad lasers. Now, this is not it's not a Fury that's fighting that 890 jump, but it has definitely lost a little bit of its shields already, and we're definitely going to have to get rid of it. Now, a lot of us did not even get the call to arms. We didn't even have time to get call to arms. It's a shame, because we would have made quite a bit of money already with all of those NPCs harassing us above the Deakin's research station. Grand Admiral Gruffus in his 890 jump jumped into one of the turrets, a very wise decision indeed. You could see some of the missiles being shot. This is from Shadow Rise, still in his Storm AA, came out of the C2, and it believed that also Geek Citizen came to join us with an F8 Lightning. There again was a very wise choice, because we are getting attacked non-stop, and this is really annoying. As you can see here by the name, it is once again an NPC, probably triggered by a player who is going to come very soon. There go more missiles. The 890 jump is red, which means that it has taken significant damage already. Some ballistics being shot at this 890 jump, which is now destroyed, and the threat, so we think, is finally over. Are we finally going to be able to start our operation, which is supposed to be about getting some VHRTs on our own, getting the cargo and selling it at Brio? This is our objective, and we are about 30 minutes in our session right now, and we still haven't achieved nothing because we keep on being disturbed. Well, I'm gonna put my Fury inside the hangar of the 890 jump, and I've got to say that we can put quite a lot of these snub fighters into the hangar of the 890 jump. This looks absolutely wonderful. I'll try to align this snub fighter along with the other, and more snub fighters are going to make their way into our ship. There we go. Gotta make sure that we can still get inside the lower deck of the 890 jump. Geek Citizen bringing it his Fury, and Shadow Rise landing the MPUVP that we are going to be using later. I have a special plan for this particular ship, and you are going to see why. Before we do anything, of course, let's get our respawn point in the 890 jump, because we are going to die. It always happens in Star Citizen. You know, we may crash into things, we may be killed by NPCs or people, or we may be killed by accidents as well. So that's what happened. And so when I came back from the medical bed, this is what I saw. All of the ships, almost all of the ships, were destroyed. The MPUV was destroyed as well. Only my Mirai Fury was not destroyed. So I decided to take it to the sky once more and have a look at what was going on. I was quite surprised. I mean, the people were telling me on Discord that they were being attacked, but I could not believe that we were being attacked for a 3rd time in a row at Deakin's. It is something that I have never seen before. So taking it to the skies, and indeed they were red targets, and some players as well had joined the area here. Now what I suspect is that these were the players who took the bounty hunting missions, and then they decided to have a little bit of fun at our own expense. Guys, by the way, if you watch this video, if you are a griefer, or if you think that it is fun to attack groups of players, don't be an idiot, guys. We are 9 against 2, so of course you are going to be destroyed, and of course you are going to be sent to prison. Look at this guy here. Don't be this guy. And also, in addition to that, well, unfortunately, as you can see, I'm trying to shoot that ship, but it was, I think my guns were disabled, so I tried to repair, and it didn't work, so I left the Mirai Fury right there on the pad. Just didn't work, didn't have time to claim it. I thought that it was time to leave this area since we were disturbed way too often. Time to get our first VHRT mission and get out of here. So the plan was to have our fighters distract our attackers, while myself in the C2 and Deplorable Infidel in the other C2 would get to our mission, as well as Segelian, who is flying a Starfarer, which we are hoping to use for refueling our snub fighters a little bit later. So there we go, our first mission right here at the asteroids of Yela. We have some contacts here. The first target is a Reclaimer, so hopefully we are going to have some juicy cargo in that Reclaimer. Maybe that's going to be our first catch of the day. And so, well, it's time to shoot at our targets, and the first one here is a Freelancer missile. Now, we are not really going to bother that much on these other smaller ships because they don't really have a lot of cargo. What we are really interested in are the big boys here, because from my experience, and I've done a lot of these missions here, and sometimes they can have hundreds of SCUs of a juicy cargo: Slam, Etam, Widow, sometimes even Weevil eggs, which can be worth hundreds of thousands of Alpha UEC per SCU. These can be really insane cargoes that can be sold at the brickyard. So really, that's going to be our real payday here. That's what we are looking for. And I'm already working on the shields of the Reclaimer. The back shields are gone. Deplorable Infidel is also there. You can see his lasers, and so that's the exchange that we're having here. The Reclaimer is targeting Deplorable Infidel, hopefully not doing that much damage. And there we go, the bounty has been eliminated. Time to have a look at what's inside. Segelian is already inside the elevator. It has gravity, so I'm gonna have to be careful. I did not facepalm. I did not faceplant, I mean. I may have facepalm, but I did not faceplant. And so we are going to see, and now it's time for facepalm because the cargo hold is empty. Now, people can say, Irad, why didn't you check the radar? And why did you scan the ship? Well, it turns out that scanning was broken for all of us, so we could not see anything that was inside the ships. The only way for us to see the cargo was to actually check inside. So after that mission, we changed our location and we went to ARCORP 141, and the idea was once again to bring all of our snub fighters into the 890 jump. This time, hopefully, this is going to be a quieter place with NPCs not attacking us and also players not attacking us. Did you notice Segelian landed on the 890 jump? That is how big the 890 jump is. Starfarer can actually land on it and drop off people. But eventually we decided to make some room here. Admiral Gruffus landed a bit somewhere else to leave room on the pad for other ships to be able to repair, as notably Geek Citizen here. They did some repairs for his F8 Lightning because he managed to kill some of the guys that we saw earlier, along with Zeo Crusher as well. Alright, so landing the Mirai Fury. This is my second one. This time it is not broken. And we are now going to clean up the trash in the hangar of the 890 jump from the assault that we endured a little bit earlier. So all of those wreckage here from the MPUV and also the Furies, well, we are just going to put them outside. I know we are going to pollute Daymar, but yeah, it is what it is. There's also a corpse here. I thought, oh wow, what a nice armor, but this is actually Shadow Rise's corpse. So we're not going to, I mean, I wanted to take everything for myself, but he urged me not to, so no, we're not going to do that. Anyway, we're almost done. Some other members of the crew helping out as well, and so now the time has come to resume our little operation. And you can see Segelian already being targeted by some of our bounties. The Segelian and also Cynical were very helpful in that particular ship here, which we used as a bait. It was not the main purpose here, totally unintended, but it was a very good bait, and it allowed us to take care of all of those ships here. More fighting. As you can see, these are VHRTs, so we're dealing with much bigger ships than we normally do with other bounty hunting missions. And here is an M2 Hercules. So once again, we are expecting some really nice bounty that are going to make up our day. The NPC is not appreciating or fighting, unfortunately. I almost upgraded my C2 into an M2. I didn't have enough money for it, but I really like all the turrets and extra armor that it has compared to a C2. This could be very useful for future operations. That M2 is almost finished. As you can see, Deplorable Infidel flying dangerously close to our C2, and now it is in soft death mode. It is about to crash on the moon of Daymar. As you can see, Deplorable Infidel is about to land. Oh no, it got blown up, meaning that it's going to lose a lot of its cargo. Are we going to be able to get anything out of that M2 Hercules? Well, we are going to find out as Segelion is landing his ship, and also our crew is going to come and get some of the cargo with the MPUV. Yes, all of the snub fighters landed inside the 890 jump, got into the MPUV, and are going to land right where we are. We don't need all of those snub fighters. We don't need to waste the fuel, which is why we are using the MPUV to bring all the personnel from the 890 jump all the way to where the action is going to be taking place, and it is saving us a lot of time. That means that the 890 jump can land anywhere, especially here where the terrain is uneven. It's not very good, and the MPUV can land much closer, and all of our crew members can safely get out of the little vessel. Look at that, they're all popping out, and that's absolutely wonderful. What a nice little ship here. I'm so happy to be using the MPUV for its intended purpose. And so let's open the door of this M2 Hercules and see what's inside. We already have a box of processed food. No thank you. Oh dear, no, that's not gonna be worth anything. And inside is a box of scrap. So yeah, we're not gonna take the scrap either. And there was also another box of ETAM. So at least we've got 8 SCU of ETAM that we'll be putting in Segelion Starfarer. And that's basically it. So after that, we decided to regroup once again just above Daymar. You can see one of our snub fighters taking off the hangar of the 890 jump, and we are in for another attack on another bunch of ships, this time an RSI Constellation Aquila, but there are going to be also other ships, including a Constellation Phoenix and also a C2 Hercules. So same old, we're still fighting our way through those various bounties and other ships. As you can see, nice little explosion right here. The objective has been completed, so we are still sharing the money. We're still grinding our reputation, but at the end of the day, this is not what you're here for. My bad, this was not a C2 Hercules, it was a Starfarer. It's always interesting to be fighting those bigger ships, especially in third-person view. This is where we really appreciate the gimbals here, because that allows us to have a nice view and also hit our targets at the same time. Of course, it will be better with fixed weapons, but it is what it is. And in the end, you know, this is a show, so I need to try to show you the best angles possible. As you can see, we could not scan anything. Segelion is also going to land. We can see that there is a box down there, a couple of boxes indeed. So let's open that Starfarer and see what's inside. Are we going to get a little bit luckier? Well, let's find out right now. The door is opening, and we have a box of RMC. A couple of boxes of RMC. Well, that's definitely better than nothing. And also the other members of the crew were able to recuperate some boxes of weevil eggs. So yeah, finally we got something interesting that we are going to be able to sell for a decent amount of money. The weevil egg was put into Segelion Starfarer. We're back into the asteroids of Yela, where we are going to be taking yet another mission, flying with the other guys. Here you can see the 890 jump, and this time it is the C2 Hercules. along with its array of escort vessels as always. There is a Hurricane and a Scorpius. You can hear a little bit of an explosion out there. The members of the gang were taking care of business, while I am taking care here of the City Hercules, and the other members of the Red Club will do as well, because this is where we're most likely to see the most amount of weapons. Plus, on the same time here, since we are in space, the City Hercules is probably going to go into soft death mode and will not crash onto the surface of the local moon, so we are going to probably have more chances to find interesting cargo. Here we go, opening the door of my City Hercules, and next we'll open the door of this City Hercules and see what's inside. Greffus parked his ship on the other side here, his 890 jump, and also went inside. And from what I've heard here from his side, it looks like there are a lot of boxes inside this City Hercules. Yes, could this be it? Finally, there we go. So there were quite a few boxes, 4 boxes of 32 FCU of RMC. I know that this sounds a little bit lackluster compared to the contraband that we could be seizing, but hey, 4 boxes of 32 FCU of RMC is worth almost just a little under 1 million alpha UEC, so that's definitely worth it. And so, as we've finished transferring all of that cargo, we are going to send the fleet to our next destination. Unfortunately, I got frozen here and my ship randomly exploded off screen, so that's why I ended up in the 890 jump in a turret, and we were not able to recuperate the cargo of the City Hercules because we had no idea where it was. So that means that we lost all of the 124 SCUs of RMC that we had collected. This was quite a letdown, but we still had the Weevil eggs and the other drugs in Segalian Starfarer, so well, I guess that we will be able to sell everything that we have after this mission at Brio's Brickyard. And so this last mission that we are doing is going to be right here above Daymar once again. So once again, I'll be in the 890 jump. Since we don't have any snub fighters left, I will be in a turret. And so, well, as you can see, this time it's a caterpillar that is down. That was much of a fight. By the time we arrived, the fight was already over. And since I had died, well, I'm in a noob suit, which is not acceptable. So I decided to loot the last body that was left in the hangar of the 890 jump. And really nice subscriber armor here. Thank you very much. I will take it here with a helmet, and I'll leave the undersuit. Some of the NPCs were still alive by the time we landed, so we went back into the fight. There was a little bit of drugs in the caterpillar, but this Starfarer was still up, and so we went here and joined the fray. Zeo Crusher was crushing, doing what he does here. Lots of shots here going toward the Starfarer, and boom! There it went down, and we should expect this Starfarer to explode once again. And I will be flying this time the MPUV, going into the pilot seat. Some of our crew members will be going inside. There we go, Shadow Rise. Now, not really practical. Sometimes you have to close the door and reopen the door of the MPUVP. And I'm going to be ferrying, well, only one member here this time. Everybody else were in different ships. Oh no, there's a Cynical as well that's going to be going in. And so we are going to be doing our job and putting all of the cargo boxes into, this time, Segalian Starfarer. Since remember that this City Hercules that we see here, where Deplorable Infidel is inside, has all ground vehicles that we'll be using later. So yeah, I was really glad we had Segalian. Originally, the Starfarer from Segalian was supposed to be doing our refueling work, but it turns out that this is our backup cargo ship, and that's going to be our moneymaker. I was trying to fly around the Starfarer here to see if there was any opening where we could easily get the boxes that were inside. I did not find anything, so we'll have to do it the hard way. Land here, try to find an opening, and see what we could get from inside. And now the people who were inside the MPUV are getting out. I am getting out as well. And I just realized that this multi-tool does not have a tractor beam. So there's one box. It was a box of maize and a box of neon. So we'll be putting all of that into the Starfarer. The crew is getting back into the MPUV personnel. There is Shadow Rise right here. We did our job. And let's have a look at what's inside Segalian's Starfarer. Well, actually, that's a nice little loot here. A mix of different kinds of drugs, including some gasping weevil eggs. That being said, it turned out that we started to have an emergency because we found out that Segalian only had 2 minutes to leave. He was very thirsty, completely dehydrated, and so we had to take him to a medical bed. This is Segalian right here, who came out of the Starfarer. He's trying to get into the MPUV. It's getting a little bit clunky here. Come on, MPUV, you can open the door. Segalian needs to go inside. Shadow Rise will also try to push him. Come on, don't go at the same time. Segalian has, remind you guys, less than 2 minutes to leave. So if we don't take him to the medical bay of the 890 jump right now, he is going to die. We are not waiting for Shadow Rise. Sorry, Shadow Rise, this is really an emergency. And so we're flying him much faster than he would by running into the 890 jump. Unfortunately, the 890 jump has its door closed, so the pilot of the 890 jump absolutely needs to open the door. Time is running out. Segalian now has less than 1 minute to live. So as I was saying in the chat, this is an emergency. The door of the 890 jump was a little bit slow to open because the 890 jump is a little bit banged up from the previous attacks that we suffered before. So I'm going to land really as hard as possible. There we go. Segalian is leaving the MPUV and is rushing toward the medical bay. And now Segalian only has 20 seconds left. Will he be able to make it? Yes, he was. As you are going to see, he will be able to come back a little bit later. The MPUV saved Segalian. And Segalian is our most important member of the crew right now because he is the one who has the cargo. You can see he is getting back into the MPUV. I will take him back to his Starfarer. And he will be the one who will sell the drugs that is in a Starfarer, and that is thanks to him that we are going to have, hopefully, a payout later. So I'll be sending him back to the Starfarer right here. And I can't believe it, guys, but not only did the MPUV fulfill its role as a personnel transporter, but it saved the day and it saved our operation. So this little ship here was really worthy of getting an extra paint. I can't understand why people were saying that this ship is a meme, this ship is useless. As you can see in this operation, in this particular scenario here, which was absolutely organic, we did not plan this in advance. This ship has proven to be extremely useful and saved our most important member. So yes, it does deserve extra paint. Yes, people should be flying it more often because there are really cases like today's cases where it's a valuable asset, maybe the most valuable asset of our fleet. We are saving a lot of time carrying our personnel from one place to another, and it's really a quick way to save some people who really need medical assistance as quickly as possible. Now we are going to bring it back into the 890 jump, where Shadow Rise will be able to return to his place. Now my job is done. Shadow Rise will go back into his AA, Storm AA, and I will go back in my Centurion. But something is really weird in Deplorable Infidel's C2 Hercules. Did you notice all the smoke that is inside this ship? This C2 is indeed a piece of junk, a wreck. We can't see anything. I have never seen anything like that before. That is really a ship that is in bad shape. Anyway, we're about to arrive at Brio's Brickyard, and we are going to need to secure the area to make sure that Segalian can safely sell what is inside his ship. And you can see that some ships are already flying above the location. There were a little bit of fighting here. So Deplorable Infidel abandoned the C2 Hercules, which was going to be destroyed anyway, and joined the turret of the Centurion that I'll be driving all the way until Brio's Brickyard. We landed about 5 kilometers away just to make sure that our ship would not be targeted by the people who are already located there. Alright, so making our way to Brio's Brickyard. Thanks to our crew, the people who were at Brio's Brickyard ran off. We managed to chase them away. We did not eradicate them, sadly. But nevertheless, we don't know if there is anyone left here, because this place does have a history of having people getting ganked as they are trying to sell their cargo. So our next objective is now to secure the area. So we are already having some ground troops here. Segelian is landing his Starfarer. Shadowrise has his Storm AA on site, and we are bringing here as well. Ooh, something is being shot over there. We are also bringing the Centurion to make sure that, well, if people are coming in, they will be shot at, and we can also use this ground vehicle to shoot at targets on the ground if we have a good angle, or we can just run them over. So this is the entrance, this is the building here where Segelian will attempt to sell his drug, and I will be positioning the Centurion just in front. Segelian now is leaving his ship. He is being escorted by Admiral Gruffus. Of course, Admiral Gruffus wearing heavy armor is a little bit slower. Admiral Gruffus needs to go in first to make sure that no one is inside and secure the location. Now, Deplorable if you're doing a little joke here. And the area is clear. Segelian will then attempt to sell his drugs. Unfortunately, it didn't work because, well, we didn't know that at that time, but it turns out that there was actually a corpse in Segelian's ship, so that prevented us from selling anything. We got stuck here, and of course, the people whom we chased came back with reinforcements. We can see 4 hostiles actually in the radar. So that is going to keep our ships busy. We've got Furies, we've got F8 Lightning, so a mix of these two ships, combination of those two ships here. You can see some missiles flying as well. We've got a Storm AA on the ground, piloted by Shadowrise. And so the action was a little bit away from the scrapyard, so I decided to drive a little bit further away so that Deplorable Infidel would be able to shoot at some of those ships, making good use here of our Centurion anti-air defenses, which, well, I guess we're scaring them away a little bit, but eventually we got targeted, and these guys are going to try to take us down, as you are going to see, which is also why well, Deplorable Infidel asked me to be a little bit mobile and not always stay at the right place, at the same place I mean, and there's also a little bit of a sandstorm which is going to help us hide a position. We are being shot. It's really not easy to shoot a ground target, definitely more difficult than a space target or a target that's in the air. Deplorable Infidel getting some really good shots here at our enemy. Unfortunately, located behind the 890 jump, and another vessel is shooting us at the same time. Now, given the scale of this attack, we've told Segelian to leave the area, and we will be joining him later. So now Segelian is at a safe place in his Starfarer. We didn't want to take any risk, and that means that we are probably going to be selling the drugs at a different location. There goes the Centurion, unfortunately. Deplorable Infidel somehow had a crime stat, so he is going to jail, and I am back in the 890 jump, naked and in an undersuit. Admiral Gruffus was told to fly away. That is his ship after all, and he is flying the ship all the way to our core. Now, for some reason, there's no air in this turret, so I was choking to death.
Alright, we're on our way.
And so, well, a long way indeed, all the way to our corp, where we'll be selling our drugs at Simpson & Sons. on Voila, which is another scrapyard in the standard system. The 890 jump definitely did take some damage. I'm going to close the hangar doors. Somehow our MPUV survived, which means that we are going to be able to use it later.
Oh my gosh, it survived.
I took a little bit of damage. You can see some big shots here, laser shots on the hull, but it is still there.
It's like a party, you know?
And the 890 jumps bar looks really cool in red alert. We could definitely have a party in there. Look at that.
Who's naked here?
We even have a crew member who is dressed for the occasion. Not this kind of party though. And so we're about to arrive at Voila. Our crew members are back in the MPUV, getting ready for well, the launch here. We have 4 people in the MPUV. It's basically the only shit that we have left because we lost pretty much all of our Furies. Yeah, we lost all of our Furies in the attack. Actually, shout out to Zero Crusher who managed to destroy an F8 Lightning with a Fury earlier. Unfortunately, we did not have any footage to record that, but he was very happy to send that guy to prison as well. Yeah, because we are in red alert and the 890 jump is very banged up. The door is even slower to open, but it will open eventually. And we are going to take off and secure the scrapyard on the moon of Voila. Just as soon as there's enough space. We forgot to close the door of the MPUV though, which is okay, we don't really need to close it. Everybody in the ship has a helmet. Alright, enough space, so I will be taking off. The door is closed. And the scrapyard is dead ahead. As you can see, we did not even wait for the 890 jump to land, and the 890 jump was still mobile, so that's actually very good. In the past, we had to wait for ships to be immobile, steady to launch ships. Now we can even launch some ships even at certain speeds, and that is definitely some progress that the game is making. Thanks to its size, I will be landing just in front of the main building of the scrapyard, and the crew will be securing it to make sure that Segelian will be able to get in later and sell in the drugs.
Make sure the place is secured. Go, go, go. I will pick up Segelian, you are going to land, and I will pick you up in the MPUV. Yes, it is.
As you can see, the crew is taking off.
So much today.
I was very happy about the MPUV in the chat, as you could hear.
Right.
Now we're all in noob suit because we all died, but some of us still have some weapons left, so that's what we are going to be using to try to secure the area. Everybody is out of the ship. Actually, it was Segelian who was flying the 890 jump, and Cynical, I believe, was flying the Starfarer.
The door is closed. Segelian, can you reopen the door of the hangar of the 890 jump, please?
So I'm going to pick up Segelian once again. Segelian, as I remind you guys, is the most important member of our party because he is the one who owns that Starfarer. He is the one who will be able to sell the cargo and give us a payday. So really a VIP in today's operation, which is why he's got a private transport in the MPUV. As we figured out that the location was secured, I went back into the hangar of the 890 jump, pick him up, and I'm going to drop him off. It was actually Gruffus who was flying the Starfarer. I remember he was saying he didn't want to fly the 890 jump anymore. Fair enough. And so I'm going to be landing just in front of our building. Again, the small size of the MPUV allows us to do that. Some members of the Erad Club here patrolling the area. And Segelian is making his way. There we go. All the way to the terminal. Will he be able to sell what is inside the Starfarer? The answer is yes. He was able to. We were able to sell for 890,000 Alpha UEC. I know it's not that much. It's a little bit lackluster. But hey, it's better than nothing. Our main cargo ship was destroyed a little bit earlier, and so we used Segelian Starfarer as a backup, And all of that was made possible thanks to this little MPUV that ferried or crew from places, from A to B, from ship to ground, ground to ship, and even saved Seginian's life. I was thoroughly impressed by this ship, and I hope that you guys were as well. This is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to everybody in the Erad Club and Ultima Energy who made it and allowed this video to be made possible. I will see you guys in the next one. A big shout out to my Patreon and YouTube members as well, including Dr. Fobin, Zeo Crusher, Deplorable Fidel, and Ducky to Ducker. I have been Erad. I will see you guys in the next one.